Hi, I'm Shauna Bradshaw, Dr. Mom HD, and thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate you following along. This month what we're going to talk about is traveling, and in particular this week what I want to talk about is traveling with children. As some of you may or may not know, my father was an airline pilot, so for me traveling is definitely in my blood and I absolutely love it. Heading off to the airport always made me feel like a kid in the candy store. It was a wonderful sensation and to this day still is. However, I have two young children, or had two young children, right now they're teens, so they're not that young. Had two young children. I have traveled an awful lot with them. The one thing that I did have was a daughter who loved to travel and a son who did not like to travel. He was fine on the airplane, but not fine once we got to the destination because he was one that did not like to be out of his home element. And this is what you find. So traveling with children can be a difficult thing. You may want to travel, but your child may not. So how do you get to your destination and be safe and happy and make sure that it's a fun adventure for your children as well as for yourself? Well, since we're going to talk about flying this week, what I thought I would do is give you my tips of how to get through the flying with your children and making sure that you had everything available to you so that you've got all the tips and tricks that you need in order to make it a wonderful destination, a wonderful flight. First off, what you're going to do is make sure that you have all the proper documentation. You're going to want to make sure that you have a birth certificate for your children. If they have a passport, then definitely continue on with the passport. Yes, infants can have a passport, and if you are going out of Canada and the United States, you must have a passport for your children. So from infant on, they require a passport. If you're staying within those destinations, then just a birth certificate is fine. However, if you are in a situation where you are going through a divorce or you are separated and you are taking your children without the other partner, be it your spouse or ex-spouse, then what you need to do is make sure you have a letter from them stating, if you have joint custody, stating that you are able to take the children out of the country and go on this vacation. If you are in the position of having full custody of your children, then what you need to do is make sure that you have documentation proving that. Why would you have this? They are sticky. In traveling with children, it is one of the things that red flags you, and you could get pulled over for a security check while going through security, just to make sure that you do have the proper documentation. So always be prepared and make sure that you have all the documentation that is necessary in order to go on this flight, so that you are not caught off guard and you have everything available to you and that you're ready for them. When you're also going through security, you want to make sure that you are dressed in comfortable clothes. You're going to have to take off all belts, jewelry, watches. Wallets can stay in there, but no wallets can't stay in. Wallets, if you're a guy, has to go into the security x-ray machine. Change has to go in there, and shoes have to go in there. So when you're traveling with kids, make sure that they have easy slip-on shoes and slip-off shoes so that it's easier for them. Make sure they don't have the cute little belts that are on or the suspenders, because that's just more of a hassle for you. What you may want to do, since this is the day of traveling and in comfortable wear, make sure that they have sweatpants and a sweat top on or layered clothes so that they can actually take clothes on and off as they get into the airplane, because the cabin pressure can be a little cool at times, so you want to make sure that they have that. So you're going to make sure that you have all documentation, you're going through the security check now, and you want to make sure that you have clothes that are easily wearable and don't have belts and all the metal on there. You're going to make sure that the shoes are easy on and off for your kids, and you're going to allow them to walk through, and you'll get through the security just fine. Now, before you go through security, you can't have any liquids. You can have food, so make sure that you pack all their special snacks, because trying to find their snacks in airport is almost a nightmare. You're going to pay double if not triple the amount. So make sure that you pack all those, put them in baggies, and just have them on your travel-on or your carry-on. But for water, you can't have that. So my greatest tip, and I want you to listen to this one because it will save you, I will guarantee you. Get a travel mug, get a sippy cup, get anything that holds water, contains it, so that it's their favorite thing and that they like to drink from. Take it through empty, which is easy. Get to one of the restaurants and ask for some ice. It'll melt, and there's your water. I believe now you have to actually pay for your water. On some flights, on other flights, it's still offered free. But juice, all that stuff, you have to buy it. So this is one of the cheaper ways of doing it, and an easy way of getting some liquid for them. Okay, so now we've made it through customs. You're doing all of this. Also, prior to getting through customs, if you're packing, make sure that you pack the least amount possible. And know that if you have an infant, you can take a car seat with you and buy a seat for your child, and then have them securely fastened into the seat with the car seat, or you can hold them on the lap. If it's a long flight, I don't suggest that. I don't recommend that because they may fall asleep. But what you may want to do is purchase the extra seat and have the car seat there. The other thing is you don't want to pack a whole lot. You get charged phenomenal amounts for having over the limit. So there are places wherever you're going where you can rent all of this. The hotel that you're staying at, friends that you're staying at, I'm sure can borrow things for you, be it a playpen, a crib, a stroller, any of that. Taking on a stroller, I think you're able to do that, but you will probably be charged for it. Just keep this all in mind because this is an added expense. Okay, so now we've talked about getting through customs, we've talked about the stuff that you're going to take through.